Welcome back. Left you on a little bit of a sour note in the last vlog, for sure. I was deep in the depths. Turns out I had the vid. I was ill, and also just a lot of life stress. But the good news is we've come out of that. I'm still having a hard time catching a full deep breath, but it's not anywhere near as bad as it was. So we're back to training. Thank you for sticking with me. Sorry, there was a little bit depressing there for a second, but we are back, baby. Today, I think it's week 2 or week 3. No, it's week 2. Week 3, day 2. I'm all over the place. Yeah, it's been 3 weeks. So that means we've got deadlift, we got bench, Pendlay rows, wide grip pull downs, and maybe another back accessory if I'm feeling good. My deadlift, I will say, still feeling rough. Still feeling the hips in a way that I don't want to. I tried sumo last week a little bit. Didn't feel any better. In fact, it felt a little bit worse. So we're gonna stick with conventional. We're just gonna greatly reduce the intensity. So it's programmed at 215 for 4. Probably gonna go like between 180 and 190 for 4. And we're gonna see how that feels. And then bench press, we've got 5x4 at 130. Pretty light stuff. I did 3x7 at 125 yesterday. So the only thing that holds back the bench today is the bench press volume yesterday. So we'll see how that goes. And then just back accessories. I'm excited for today. I think I'm starting to feel like myself again. There's nothing like coming back after a layoff or a vacation, or in the worst case scenario, you get sick, but coming back feeling ready to train again. Sometimes you need that time off. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. You know, sometimes you need that moment away to kind of remind yourself why you do this. And usually within 2 to 3 days of not being in the gym, I start to kind of hunger for it again. So I'm excited to be back. Yesterday was a good training session. We got a good squat session done. You know, no ankle pain, so things are trending upwards. It's just now the hip, trying to keep the hip as happy as possible. So we're gonna work around some aches and some pains, but we're gonna do our best today. And we're gonna keep a positive attitude because, you know, we're in the gym, baby. Nothing better than this. How are you folks doing? Hope you're doing well. I wanna kind of make this a collaboration. So I'm training, but hopefully either you take inspiration from this or, you know, you just want something on in the background. But I want to know what you guys are training. I want to try and build like a, hey, you did deadlifts today, I did bench press. So if you train something specific today, leave it in the comments. Hopefully by this point I'm still able to comment on every comment, and the baby has not monopolized all of my time. I'm gonna keep trying to comment on everything, but with more and more it becomes difficult. We did some soft tissue warm up. The hip feels decent. So we're gonna start with 1 rep on each side. My policy usually is stiff leg, Romanian, and then more of a conventional style, just to prime the muscles and also prime the movement. So here we go. Pretty good. My lats are sore. Maybe on the bench press. I did some rowing yesterday too. Feeling good. I think the main thing I'm dealing with here is that lower back fatigue that, you know, I thought surely the squat to bench carryover would be what holds me back. But that's been okay, other than the minor, you know, bicep tendonitis flare up. But consistently across these 3 weeks, that heavy squat into deadlift has really done a number on my back. And I think that's where a lot of the hip issues are coming from, is I'm kind of overcompensating. So I think it's more so like a tolerance issue than anything else. Like, I'm just not used to it. I spent 9+ weeks only deadlifting and benching. So I didn't have that third level of fatigue. So I'm trying to tell myself, it's okay to kind of ease back in, you know, and not catastrophize. Like my back is pumped already after the warm up. So, you know, just trying to stay in it. definitely feel that pop. Like I got a little bit more juice in the movement today. I don't feel overly tired or overly fatigued or anything like that. So slightest twinge of pain. That's par for the course. We're gonna go 3 reds and throw the belt on. Before we get to this next set, quick music recommendation. Thraw. Classic type of just metal. I would say maybe a little death metal influence without like the super modern screamo vocals, which are fine. But if you're looking for like classic chug metal, I really like that album. The band's Thraw. I forget what the album's called. The first song is like a 10-minute epic. The instrumentation is just so good, in my opinion. I know metalheads are crazy, but that's just how I feel. Man, the belt feels so tight. Moment of truth here. Two out of 10 maybe on the pain. So let's not let that get us out of the plan or the rhythm. We're just gonna go 190. That's the plan I had coming in. I think that plan can be executed. You know, there's temptation to do 210 or 200. 190. Keep it in the pocket for a little bit. I gotta earn the ability to go heavy again on deadlifts. I gotta earn it. All right. Not bad, not bad. Whew. Definitely a little bit of fear going into that. But it felt good. Second rep felt a little iffy. Oh man, all right. Supposed to do 5 by 4. I might just do 4 by 4, depending on how the next set feels. But we got one. Hip doesn't feel too bad, so keep rocking. All right, good news, not a ton of pain. Bad news, a little bit of pain. So I did another set. Pain crept up just a little bit, so we're gonna cut it at 3. This is my 3rd set. Wanted to film it. 3 out of 5, we'll take that. You know, last time we tried to do deadlifts, we barely made it through 2 sets, so take the wins, you know? We'll be back, just give it time. Can't say I ever experienced this sensation. My hair was whipping into my eye. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm definitely favoring one side. You can kind of tell one side kind of comes up. What's funny is it's the side that kind of hurts. It comes up a little bit faster. I don't know, maybe the weight is just kind of not evenly dispersed. We'll take it. 3 sets. I'd say weight-wise around a 7. Maybe a 6.5 without the pain. But on the day, yeah, even now, it starts to creep in just a little bit afterwards. So we're gonna do the smart thing. I'm gonna finally listen to my own advice that I tell my athletes all the time. You know, you'd think I'd learn by now, but cut it off here, be happy with 3, move to the bench press. Very nice. Also, cutting my shins. That's how you know it's a good deadlift day. If there's blood on the bar. I love that old school mentality, huh? It's bench press time, my friends. Before we get started, a question that gets brought up to me a lot in coaching or just in general or on these videos, comment sections, is how many days should you be bench pressing as a powerlifter? Because the bench press is interesting because it's not as fatiguing as the squat or the deadlift for most people. I'm going to talk in generalities here. So just because this may not be your learned experience, we have seen in a broad population, this is what I'm talking about, okay? So don't get crazy. But generally, the bench press does not fatigue nearly as much as the deadlift, and very much not as much as the squat, depending on who you are. So the question is more bench pressing going to be beneficial for me? And I would argue yes, 9 times out of 10. Not just to build the tissue, but like I always say, this is an execution sport. So you have to learn to execute the lifts. Yes, you have to be strong enough to execute the lifts, but you also have to learn the technique, how to grind, how to work through specific 1-rep maxes in competition. You have to know how to execute the lift at a high level. And that's the skills practice part of powerlifting. Not so much the strength part, but the skills part that I think a lot of people miss. You can get a lot of skills practice by adding in more frequency on the bench press. So on this program, there's 3 barbell bench press days and 1 dumbbell bench press day, which is kind of a tissue building day. For me, that's a little bit too much. So I've taken away the dumbbell day and I'm just doing the barbell work because I want the skills practice, but I don't want the overall fatigue. All that to say, let this be a guide to you. If you are starting out as a powerlifter, like I'm talking first 6 months of training, 2 times a week, start with that, see how you feel. As you build and get more used to the bench press, you can do a primary day where you do the barbell bench press, and you can do a secondary day where you do like an accessory movement. I did a whole video on great accessory movements for the bench press. I'll link it right here if you want to look at it. But that's how you kind of build out. And then after, 6, 12 weeks, reassess. How do I feel after each bench press day? How do I feel after each block? Can I add in another day? Do I think that would be beneficial for me? You have to ask yourself these questions, especially if you're self-programming, which a lot of beginners do. And if you're working with a coach, you have to give your coach this information so that they can start to build. If you're sitting at two times a week bench press and you could get away with 4, and with 4 times a week, you're pushing your bench press crazy high, but you never tell your coach how you're recovering from each bench press session, you're wasting time. And then you're gonna blame the coach and say, well, the coach didn't know what they were doing. No, you didn't communicate to the coach that you were recovering well, that you felt like you had more juice, that you wanted a little bit more practice with the bench press. Communication goes both ways. You have to communicate to your coach. So today is a bench press right after another bench press day, which I don't love to program, but if you're only training 4 days a week and you want to bench press 3 times in a training week, that's what's happened. So we're gonna do, it's 5x4 at 130. To me, when I read the program, this looks like kind of a bridge day. We did a lot of volume yesterday, 3x7. Then we do 5x4. And then on Friday, we have a top single and a little bit of back off work. So this is kind of that bridge to get us to the top single. So instead of benching Monday and Friday with a gap in between, we get to keep our skills up on Tuesday and ease us into the bench press on Friday. So that's what I think is the mentality, and that's how I usually try and do it. So let's get to it. Enough yapping. Hopefully that you found that helpful. If you did, let me know. I love the bench press, even though it's my worst lift. Woo. Definitely some carryover fatigue from yesterday. So, we'll see. I think something a lot of people don't mention is the lower body carryover. Something that I think could shock you in your first competition is going from squat to bench. And if you're utilizing leg drive properly, fatiguing your quads and your legs from squat, getting into the bench, you may not get as much leg drive as you want. That's why I like to, as much as it messes with my elbows, having squat and bench on the same day so that I can kind of feel that out and practice how I play helps a lot. At least give it a shot, because it can be kind of shocking. It's like, whoa, my legs are dead. I don't have anything here. It's all gonna be upper body. So it's a skill too to learn how to keep a little bit of leg drive on. Feeling a little tightness in the left elbow. Again, I think it's just carryover from yesterday. Not bad enough to worry about, but it's a 130. We got 4. Let's do it. Dude, I hope at some point in your life you experience how good it feels for your 1 rep max to be a set of 4 at like RPE 7. When you get in the weeds in this sport, it feels like you never make any progress, but take the long view, man. I struggled with this weight for the longest time. I hope you get that. Keep working, you will. You'll get there. Difficulty staying pretty consistent. I'm just flipping all over the bench because I'm so sweaty. All right, I'll film the 5th set. A little bit of tendonitis pain here. Easy money. Oh. All right, we got some Pendlay rows next. Probably just film one set of this. We got 100. We got 90, 9500. 7 reps. Whew. Fatigue's starting to hit a little bit. I'm hungry. Try not to eat as much breakfast on deadlift days because I like the hinge, but now I'm starting to get a little hangry. I mean, I have never found the right intensity prescription for this, but we'll take it. A little bit of a change to our giant set this week. Instead of 30 reps, it's 35. We're gonna stick at 150. That's what we've been doing the past 2 weeks. If you don't know, giant set, you gotta get to 35 reps. You can take breaks. I try and keep my breaks about 3 breaths, 5 to 7 seconds. And I try and keep my breaks to a minimum. And I'm not allowed to take a break until I get 12 reps on the first bout. So we got 150 on there. Whew. All right, let's do it. I'm gonna try and keep this in my back as much as possible. Oh my God, that sucked. Holy cow. Giant sets are great because they can help you really get to failure in a compact period of time. But my God, do they suck. Oh, all right. That's it. I'll wrap it up here in a second. Whew. All right, folks, that's gonna do it. Pretty good day. Fatigue is still pretty high, but that's normal. Week 3, kind of expect that. Happy with the mature decision we made on deadlift. Happy that the bench press is still holding solid. I was a little worried about bringing squat back, what that was going to do to my bench, and there was a little hiccup, with the elbow stuff. But I think we found a good strategy to manage that. So I think we can still overload the bench and make some good progress. Just chugging along. Not really much else to say. Hope you guys are having a good workout yourselves. Whew. Let me know in the comments what you're training for. If you got a meet coming up or you're just trying to get yourself better, I'd love to hear it. Join our Discord if you want to join a strength community. It's going to help get you stronger. If you want to run this program, you can click the link in my bio for Boost Camp. It helps the channel if you use code BlackBearBarbell with no spaces. Helps the channel out a lot, so I would really appreciate that. Again, just keep your head down, keep working, get strong, and stay strong.